Now, just a day after learning Biden's student loan forgiveness plan would cost $400 billion, we're finally seeing a major legal challenge to it. Here with all the details is Trace Gallagher, Fox's chief breaking news correspondent and brand new anchor of Fox News at Night. So excited about that, Trace. Congrats again on the new gig. What can you tell us, though, for now, about this lawsuit?
Laura, thank you. First of all, the lawsuit itself is pretty cut and dried. The Pacific Legal Foundation, a libertarian law firm, says President Biden's plan to forgive $500 billion in student loan debt is flagrantly illegal because, quoting here, only Congress has the power to pass laws and spend money under the Constitution. But it's interesting because the plaintiff in the lawsuit is a man named Frank Garrison. He's a lawyer for Pacific Legal Foundation, or PLF, and it turns out Mr. Garrison took out federal student loans to pay for law school. And after paying down those loans for 10 years, he is now getting debt relief under public service loan forgiveness. Now, that's a program for borrowers who work in public service for nonprofits. But in 3 states, including Indiana, where Frank Garrison lives, the Biden debt relief plan would subject him to state taxes, which would make him worse off than simply repaying his federal loan. And because of those damages, PLF argues that Garrison has legal standing to sue the Department of Education. You see the map there. By the way, we should note 4 other states are considering also imposing state taxes on those who get Biden's debt relief. Today, the White House was asked about the lawsuit. Watch.
Of the Biden-Harris administration student loan plan are trying to stop it because they know it will provide much needed, again, relief for working families. Anyone who does not want to give that debt relief and can choose to opt out.
Garrison and PLF say there is no way for him to opt out of the tax. We should note the Congressional Budget Office, you referred to this, estimates the relief plan will cost $430 billion. Other studies put the number a few $100 billion higher. Laura.
Oh, my goodness. Trace, thank you. And we're going to be tuning in. I cannot wait on October 3rd. Congrats again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All
right. Joining me now is the lead attorney on the case, Caleb Kruckenberg of the Pacific Legal Foundation. Caleb, we've been waiting for a lawsuit like this. Now, the response to your critics saying that your suit has no standing because you're not an aggrieved party. What are the damages to you and the Pacific Legal Foundation?
Well, the question is not what's the damages to me or the Pacific Legal Foundation. It's to the people that are getting this student loan cancellation forced upon them. And for my client, Frank Garrison, who happens to be one of my colleagues, I mean, the damages are pretty clear. He is going to be stuck with a tax bill that he didn't ask for this cancellation that he doesn't want, that's going to put him in worse position than if nothing happened. And to the extent that the White House just said, you know, we heard the clip, they said, well, nobody's going to get this if they don't want it. That's just not true. The Department of Education, still on their website today, says that as many as 8 million people in the U.S. are going to get automatic cancellation, at least starting this week, potentially.
Now, Caleb, Larry Tribe tweeted about the lawsuit, saying the big weakness of it is the strength, the statutory ground on which Biden's plan stands, both under the HEROES Act and under the Health and Education Act. Caleb, he went on to say that the lawsuit was a stretch. So again, focusing on those 2 acts, the president is supposedly finding the ability to appropriate essentially hundreds of billions of dollars.
Well, I think just take a step back and think about how absurd that is, that it's even an argument that the president can all by himself just appropriate $500 billion. Or, I mean, we'll take the conservative estimate, $400 billion. I mean, that is a ridiculous amount of money. But if you look at the HEROES Act, and that's really the statute that the Department of Education is relying on, the president is relying on, that was a bill that was passed in 2003 in reaction to the Iraq War.
All right, we got to go, but we get the point. You can't go back to Iraq and vets to spend $400 billion. I think Tribe is wrong. I think you're right. We'll see. Caleb, thanks.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.